So, I was going to do a video on Monster Hunter Wilds and cover you know, the story that's going around now from the Reddit post claiming that having or not having the DLC for Monster Hunter Wilds affects your frame rate. I have not bought any of the DLC for Monster Hunter Wilds, so I figured it'd be great. It'd be, um, I could spend a little bit of money and do like a real test because you get the true before and the true after. And it, maybe shed some light on it. I know other people have done it as well. Uh, but, just shed some more light on it. See what I find with my machine. And I went through, I did the whole first part, with no DLC bought and whatnot. The whole time I'm thinking, okay, so I'm gonna go spend some money on some DLC, maybe like $100 or something like that. Get the DLC, run it, and see, if there's any difference at all, if it's small, if it's large, if it's just non-existent, and job it good. Well, that's what I thought until when I was done with that section, and I went to buy the DLC. And if you look, you can see, I'm blowing up the image here, uh, $562.25 to buy everything for the base game. For the base game. And there's going to be another monster coming out. There's Arch Tempered, Arkveld coming out next month. There's probably going to be stuff with that, along with if they do another festival, before the end of this and add more stuff there. Who knows? But we have a game where we are testing to see if having DLC or not affects frame rate. And while we're trying to figure this out, we have 190 items of DLC to be bought. Some of it can be bundled, some of it can't be. But the fact that it all adds up to $562.25 is absurd. If you go back, and I'll pull this one up for you as well. If you go back and you look at Monster Hunter Wild or Monster Hunter World, now this is going to pull up. If you go to Monster Hunter World on Steam, it's going to pull up not only Monster Hunter World, but Monster Hunter World Iceborne DLC as well. The total for the base game and the expansion, which this is still too high, but it puts in perspective. This is a whole other game added on here. $541.22. We are $19 higher in our base game currently than what we were in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. What the fuck is happening? What is this? What is this timeline that we're in? Why is all this so expensive? Uh, Another one. If you look at the soundtrack, so at the bottom of Wilds, bottom of the DLC, you'll see the bottom line is $74.99. That's the soundtrack. The soundtrack for Wilds costs as much as a new game, and they're overpriced. Going back, the soundtrack for World is $25. The soundtrack for Rise is $28. The soundtrack for Sunbreak is $20. If you want to go further, you can do a soundtrack for the first Berserker Kazan that came out this year. If you want to go, same year that Wilds came out, Kazan, you get it with the deluxe edition. And the deluxe edition is $10 extra, and you get a soundtrack, an art book. for $10. You want to go further? Doom 2016, $10 for the soundtrack. Expedition 33 came out this year. $20. $20 over 8 hours of music, they're saying on here, for Expedition 33 for $20. And that soundtrack is amazing. Like, what are we doing? Needless to say, I'm not making the video. I'm not spending 500 some dollars on DLC for this game. Like, I have 200 some hours, I think close to 300 maybe, into this game. I'm not entirely sure at this point. But I don't get paid for this. I make this stuff for fun. I'm not spending $562 on this for a video that, oh God. And that's not even the point. It's not the fact that I don't want to spend the money on it. It's the fact that they have this much DLC in the game, and we're still complaining about performance, and they can't figure it out. And now we think it might be due to the DLC. What the fuck? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I love Monster Hunter. I love Capcom. I love Monster Hunter. I've been playing Monster Hunter since 2004. But this is some shady shit. They're putting a huge emphasis on DLC in recent years, and it's just going up and up and up. And we see it with Monster Hunter Stories coming out, in 2 months here, where they're trying to sell us a mission before we even know what it is. With a premium deluxe pack, you get a freaking side quest. They're just putting more and more into to DLC, like paid DLC. And I'm telling you, I've said it, as soon as Stories 3 got announced and we saw that shit with the side quest, what was it, Rudy side quest, I said, this is a test. They are testing to see if they can charge for monster updates. We're going to add Devil Joe. Like back in World, they added Devil Joe. I think it was the first monster they added. We're going to add Devil Joe. $20. This is the test for that. That's what this is. They're seeing how far they can push it. Because the fact that we're at $560 some dollars for a base game DLC is ridiculous. Like, come on. Let's go through here. We have Sacred Battle Ready Pose, $8. What else do we have? Like, it's all like nickel and diming bullshit. Like, you have sticker set, Flame Fed, $2. Gesture set, $8. What's this, 9? Character and Palico edit voucher 3-pack for $10. There's some really like egregious ones in here now. Where are they? Okay, here we go. Pendant white turntail, $1.49. Pendant white tubby turntail, $1.49. Pendant black turntail, $1.49. What the fuck? Now maybe you can like bundle these. Yeah, you can. You can get 4 of these for $4 instead of 1 for $1.50. I'm sorry, but that doesn't make it okay. Like, you still have way too much DLC here. Asking too much for it. And what happened to the packs? Like, it's hard to even find the packs. You have to like go into this shit and actively search for it. Like, they're trying to hide that you can get it in packs, and they just want you to buy it all separate. 190 items. And some of them are free. There's some stuff in here that's free, but the majority of it is paid for. It's just like, what are you doing, the Monster Hunter? What are you doing to this game? I know you need your money to like do some of this stuff, but you're getting to the point where you're nickel and diamond for anything and everything. It's so bad. Words cannot even begin to describe the amount of frustration this is. Like, oh my god, so stupid. How is Expedition 33's soundtrack $20 and you guys are charging 75? $75 for a soundtrack. Don't get me wrong, I like Monster Hunter soundtracks. I'm not paying $75 for a Monster Hunter soundtrack. That is, you're charging more for the soundtrack than you did for the game. Wait, the game's $70. The soundtrack's 75. Fucking A. What are you doing? Open this up. What the fuck does this say? This album features the majestic main theme, the beautiful order of the world, powerful new rendition of Proof of a Hero, Wild's version, along with other tracks. Okay, how many tracks do we got? Disc 1, we've got 17. Disc 2, 19. Disc 3, 18. Disc 4, 18. Disc 5, 17. Disc 6, 18. Disc 7, 19. I'm sorry, but I don't. Again, it's a lot. Like, the soundtrack for Monster Hunter Wilds is good. I will say that. It is not something I'm going to listen to, though, like I'm going to listen to Expedition 33 soundtrack. I will just. I have songs from Expedition 33 in my normal playlist of music that I listen to daily. Monster Hunter's not in there. As much as I love Monster Hunter themes, like, they're not something I'm going to listen to daily. Why is it 75 goddamn dollars? And for anyone wondering, yes, there is the Premium Deluxe Edition, which you do get music for. One song. It's Proof of a Hero from 2025. And the soundtrack includes that. So if you bought the Premium Deluxe Edition, you're paying twice for it, essentially. Oh, fuck me. All this because I just wanted to do a video on if DLC slows the game down or not. Because there's conflicting reports. Like, some people say yes, some people say no. It's, and then I find, fuck, till after tax. What? Let me put this in my cart. I'll put it in my cart. I want to say, view all. Add all DLC to cart. Okay. All DLC is added to cart. Scrolling. Let's see what after tax. After tax, $596.09. $600 for DLC. $600. Fuck off. Oh, now I gotta go and remove all this shit manually, don't I? Of course I do. God damn. Well, let me just go through and remove all this garbage. Like we got single pendants for $2 here. $1.50, $2. Single hairstyles for $2. And yeah, you can click in every single one of them, and you can try and bundle them and try and figure out which ones go with which, and make sure you have them all. But holy hell, I don't. Why has no one said anything about this? It's absurd. Absolutely absurd. I'm having like a mini crash out here over something that's so fucking dumb. I don't want Monster Hunter to be like this. Like I don't. I want my Monster Hunter to be made by a good company. So Capcom, stop doing this bullshit. Stop being a bad company. Please. There is a remove all button, by the way. Clicking made me happy though. Slightly. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Do you think that all this DLC is needed? It's all justified. That it's fine pricing. The fact that they have the bundles not out in the forefront. That you know you can get bundles, but they don't tell you that straight up until you click on it. At least, at least I'll give them this. At least you have to click on it to buy it, and then right below the buy, it gives you the bundle option. But there's so many items, 190, that you'd have to spend a ridiculous amount of time going through trying to figure out what's what comes with what doesn't come with what, and try and maximize your money. There's not much else I got to say here. I'm thoroughly disappointed. Um, it's not something I expected. The fact that it is so expensive for not only just the DLC, but the soundtrack itself is absurd. Uh, and honestly, makes me kind of wonder: are they locking FPS behind DLC? Are they being that scummy? I don't think they've done it on purpose, but I do believe it should be pretty obvious whether or not this was happening. Like it should show up in a check. What like they have access to everything behind the scenes. You can't tell me that they're sitting there being like, "Oh, we didn't know that DLC was procking every, you know, second or couple seconds or whatever it is to see if you had it. We didn't know." They had to know. If they were looking into performance and they were diving into it, they had to know. If it's actually that way, it is dead to rights. They knew about it. Uh, I'm I'm sorry, you can't convince me otherwise. It's either that or ineptitude. It's I mean, this is like okay, I work at a garage, right? I'm a manager for a garage. This is like the lady that comes in that says, "No, my brakes just started making noise today, and there's no brake pad left, there's no rotor left, and the caliper piston head is pushed out of the caliper. Like the piston is out of the caliper, the fluid's leaking out, and there's no, it just started making noise today." Inept, not paying attention, not caring. Something needs done. The performance for so many people that bought it is dog shit yet. It's I noticed something. I noticed something in my testing that I was doing. I had frame drops in Oilwell Basin at the base camp. down in the 40s. Okay. Now I have I'm running 1440p. Okay, on basically the highest settings for everything except for I don't have ray tracing on. Everything else is the highest you can have. Uh, I do not have the texture pack, but I have high textures, not the the texture pack ones, but the normal high textures. Um, Running 1440p and no frame gen. Everything else is maxed out. Okay, running through the oil well basin, we're dropping down to 40. Our 99th percentile is like 31 FPS. And I look at my GPU and CPU utilization, and they're like 70. What the fuck? Why is it that low and my GPU and CPU usage is so low? Like, yeah, 70 is decent to run at. But I'm in other places, like in the game, other camps that are doing mid 50s to mid 60s, and my GPU usage is the same. Like GPU usage for the base camps is between 70 to 80 depending on the base camp, which is, within reason, I suppose, because different base camps have different, amounts of things in them and whatnot. But my utilization is at 70 and my frames are tanking in the oil well basin base camp. Why? Shit like that. Like, we don't know why. We don't have any explanation for this shit. And then there's rumors that they're trying to make a Switch 2 version. Why are you putting time into shit like that when you have a version that doesn't work for a lot of people that bought the game? I understand there's, stuff coming out, but you can't tell me that it's going to become, you know, completely fixed, playable. Look at Dragon's Dogma 2, that still has issues. Like, you're you're spending all this time on DLC, on porting the game to possibly porting the game to Switch 2 just for the money. I get it, your company, you need money, but Jesus, fix your shit. I'm so sick of this conversation. I don't want to have it. My game runs fine, but there's a lot of other people that it doesn't, and that's the problem. They bought the game, and it runs like shit. And talking bad about Monster Hunter is probably not good for the longevity of my channel. Probably not. But I'm frustrated. I'm very, very frustrated. Because I see it. I see what's happening, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And it's just like they're ruining the game that I love. They're they're not even ruining it in ways of like gameplay and whatnot. They're doing it in the worst way possible. They're doing it in the way of EA. They're taking the EA approach of just we're gonna focus on the stuff that people pay for, and the rest of it f off. That's why I don't play freaking any EA games anymore. Any Madden games, anything like that. I used to love those when I was a kid. I don't play them now because it's abundantly clear what they spend their money on, and it's not what the people want. It's not what the consumer wants. But they don't care because the dumb people pay money for it. Well, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, my rant about this. I don't know how much of this I'm going to cut. It's really upsetting. But thanks, you guys. Have a good day. I'm going to go do something to just forget about this and not worry about it for a while. Uh, it's just wild to me. Wilds. Have a good one, guys. Bye.